You, John Fitzgerald Kennedy, do solemnly swear
I, John Fitzgerald Kennedy, do solemnly swear
that you will faithfully execute the office of President of the United States.
that I will faithfully execute the office of President of the United States.
We have before us the opportunity to forge for ourselves and for future generations a new world order.
And now is a time when things are shifting. There's going to be a new world order out there.
Hail Fellowship's eternal flame.
Our way of life is under attack. Those who make themselves our enemy are advancing around the globe. The survival of our friends is in danger. And yet no war has been declared. No borders have been crossed by marching troops. No missiles have been fired.
Now, how exactly will the future masters of the planet look like? This will be decided by the people who own the data. Those who control the data control the future not just of humanity, but the future of life itself. Because today, data is the most important asset in the world.
Of a police dog during an arrest in Brisbane last year.
It requires a change in outlook, a change in tactics, a change in missions by the government, by the people, by every businessman or labor leader, and by every newspaper. For we are opposed around the world by a monolithic and ruthless conspiracy that relies primarily on covert means for expanding its sphere of influence, on infiltration instead of invasion, on subversion instead of elections, on intimidation instead of free choice, on guerrillas by night instead of armies by day. It is a system which has conscripted vast human and material resources into the building of a tightly knit, highly efficient machine that combines military, diplomatic, intelligence, economic, scientific, and political operations. Its preparations are concealed, not published. Its mistakes are buried, not headlined. Its dissenters are silenced, not praised. No expenditure is questioned, no rumor is printed, no secret is revealed.
Simple, but actually quite complex statement. Live free or die. Live free or die. We stand on the shoulders of American heroes who crossed the oceans, settled the continent, tamed the wilderness, laid down the railroads, raised up the skyscrapers, won 2 world wars, defeated fascism and communism, and made America the single greatest nation in the history of the world.
Welcome, everybody. Hopefully I'm coming in good, loud and clear. Let me know in chat if you can hear me. That'd be great. So, okay, let's pull this up. If you are here, you really want to know. This is a very intense title, Luciferians Run the World, and I will show you well, me, and I would give all credit to Altian Childs, and that's the person I will be showing in this stream. So I'm going to kind of set it up for you guys. You're going to learn who this guy is, and then you're going to listen to a supercut I made of a groundbreaking video he put out. This was years ago, and it was 5.5 hours long. So not a lot of people watched it, and it was so full of good stuff. I told myself, I need to get this video. I need to listen to it. You need to cut it, get to the meat, right? So that it is consumable, like what a baker does, right? And so I've condensed it to an hour and a half, guys. And so I did them in little, each 10-minute segments. But for this stream, I clipped them together. So I hope you enjoy it. Oh, and it's so good to see you, Mrs. Real Freedom Fighter. Hello. And Dave75. Hey, where we go? We go all GTG. Good to see you. All right. So, guys, to start it out, we're going to start out with this clip of his name is Altian. I hope I'm saying it right. Altian Childs on the X Factor. Now, this is a very interesting place to start, but it's the premise of everything. So, okay, so I'm going to play you this first. Now, what he did is he won the X Factor, and he won it when he sang "Living on a Prayer." Let's see if we pull this up. Did a cover for that song. So let's listen to this, find out who he is, how he came on the spotlight, and then we're going to jump to the next video, which is groundbreaking, in my opinion.
It was just very boring. It's Altian Childs.
It pains me to say that since the beginning of this competition, I don't think Kyle has given me one constructive criticism.
He sung it well, but it was like, whatever.
He just slaps me, and I'm not sure what anyone can learn from a slap in the face.
Very early, Altian started very early because of my love for music. He was just about 6-7 years old. The music transformed him in a good way. Altian is a good musician. You can't be wrong when you have a music from art. You just can't be wrong. I am the richest father in the world. If I die tomorrow, there's nothing to regret.
This is one of my all-time favorite songs, right? I'm giving you. You just don't touch it. You don't. But I called John, right? John Bon Jovi. I asked him, was it okay if we did this? And he said, yeah, he'd love Altian to sing this song.
I'm singing a legendary song from a legendary artist. I guess a lot of people would be intimidated by the weight of that.
Altian doing 80s rock? Well, this could be pure genius or a car crash.
Altian Childs.
Can you guys hear it all right?
Union's been on strike. He's down on his lucky strike. So true. Sheena works the diner all day, working for her man. She brings home her pay. For love, for love. And we gotta hold on to what we got. It doesn't make a difference if we make it or not. We got each other, and that's a lot for love. Let's give this a shot. Oh, we're halfway there. Oh, living on a prayer. Take my hand, we'll make it, I swear. Oh, living on a prayer.
Yeah, it is lower, isn't it? That's probably where he could sing it. Guys, this all connects. Just stay with me. Just want you to see this. Honestly, that was really dang good. I have to admit.
Was fantastic. That was great. I love you like this. I love you like
Like,
this.
slow down with the whistles, guys.
It reminds me of your first audition, what we loved about you singing rock songs. You looked in your element. You couldn't tell that you've had tonsillitis. I thought you were brilliant. It was great. Well done.
Well done, Anth. Mate, Alton, that takes a big man, you know, to be sick and to deliver a song like that. I couldn't actually think of a harder song to give him because that's a monster vocal to sing. And, you know, there were moments you did the crazy little spin and you came out and you were in the wrong key for a tiny little bit. But, mate, I'd like to see someone else do a spin like that and sing perfect. So I love your energy. Love it. Full marks for your energy. It's unbelievable.
So, you're up there crying on the big screen saying, I've never said anything constructive to you. Is that right? Is that what you think? Okay, here we go. You are a true rock star. That was very good, mate. That was very, very good. And for you to do it sick, and the thing that I bash you about is because you're a Fruit Loop, right? But most rock stars are Fruit Loops, and that was sensational, man. You should be very happy with yourself. Nice work, Ronan.
Fruit Loop. I wonder why he's a Fruit Loop.
I look, to get Kyle Sandilands out of his seat, man, is something serious. So all I can say is I am so proud of you. You've had a tough week. You know, so brilliant. Well done. Great job. Great job. You've been looking forward to me, haven't you? You don't even have to say a word. Just enjoy that, all right? Kyle, you stood up. I didn't think you could. That was fantastic. Yeah. All right, don't make...
Okay, so that's pretty much it. So he won this thing, right? Or do they have a giant final announcement? Maybe they do.
777, 88, or pick up the phone and call 1902.
I think that's how it works. Okay, so he wins it, right? That's the whole point. He wins it. Let me write this down. So he's a big name. I think it's Australia. Yeah, I think it's Australia. I'll double check that. So he comes on this, you know, everybody knows who he is. I think he gets a deal. I think he makes some music and does pretty well for himself. And then I think he has some little disruptions in his life, like here and there. I think it has to do with maybe the law, maybe drugs, I don't know, or maybe a dispute with a girlfriend. I have no idea. I'll have to look at that. But I remember looking and it was like mild. It wasn't a big deal. So out of nowhere then, this guy, he comes out with this video. And I remember when it was being bumped around, it was pretty early on. I wish I could remember the date. It's been at least 6 years, maybe 7. I don't know. And this kind of came out and it was, I forget even the title. It got removed pretty fast off of YouTube. I think you can still locate the full one. So what I did is I took it and I compiled it into one nice shareable piece. And I've already talked so long, but I'm going to get to it. I'll play it. And I hope you guys enjoy it. Now, I'm going to give you a little warning. It gets into stuff, okay? So it gets into like satanic stuff. It gets into satanic ritual. It talks about, you know, ritualistic practices of murder and torture. I did try to make it cleaner and cut out certain parts where I knew it was just going to be like, whoa. And if you want to watch the whole thing, you can. But some of this stuff is just, it's just gross. But I put in the most important parts and it just really paints this picture. Because the title, you're like, what? Luciferians Run the World? Yeah, right. I mean, maybe evil people, maybe groups, maybe certain separate hodgepodge cults, maybe bankers, maybe this, that. Sure, they're all part of it. But they're all part of this one order. which is the Luciferian order, and it is the New World Order. And that is what they've been wanting to bring, and they've been showing us through signs and symbols for a long time that this is where we're coming to. And of course, there is a resistance. I'm one of them. I know a lot of you guys are. The Trump administration is a huge header in that. And of course, in general, just Christians in general that are awake and are aware, we are the resistance to this. And it's good to know your enemy. For me, I need to know my enemy so I know what I'm facing in battle. I know what they'll throw at me so I won't be surprised. So that's the way I view it. And I know some people do take it differently, but that's my take. So I hope you guys enjoy it. And I will see you on the other side. All right, here you go. This Altian Child's take on, I think he titled it "The Secret Religion That Rules the World."
If this video is taken down, it wasn't taken down by me, all right? Now, I'm partly doing this to wash your blood off my hands because God saved my life on a midnight highway one fateful night for this very cause. And he's watching, as he clearly proved that night. See, I should be dead. My sleeping driver was hurling us toward a concrete wall at 100 kilometers an hour when an angel of God was sent to wake me up from a deep sleep with just a whisper and just in time. And for what? Not so I could win X Factor or buy that dream Porsche or marry that dream girl, but for this, for these words, for this moment, so I can tell you something, so I can warn you about something. Most of you won't care for the shocking thing I'm about to expose to you because no one cares. No one cares. Not my exes, former friends, former bandmates, work colleagues, parents, family members, strangers. No one cares. But still, I'm doing all this for one person. One single human being out there. God is calling you, and he's looking for the last ones before the storm. Everything you're about to hear is a fact, and I'll prove it to you. I will leave no room for doubt. And nothing can stop what's coming. Who do you think, generally speaking, runs the world? What type of people are the leaders of our countries and corporations, and the rich and the famous too? I mean, like, are they Christians? Do Christians run the world? Well, no, of course not. Buddhists? No. Do Muslims run the world? No. What about atheists? It's got to be atheists, right? Because we've come such a long way as a society, and atheism is the rational state of mind for the modern type of person, right? No. What about a mixture of people? Different types of people run the world. Let me tell you something. All the leaders from Africa to Europe to the Middle East, Israel, Syria, Iran, all the way to the Americas, all these people, and we'll get to the celebrities in a second, they're not atheists, Buddhists, or Muslims. No. What if I told you that they all belong to the same religion, a secret religion, one that none of them are allowed to talk about, one that you should worry about because it affects you beyond belief in ways that you never imagined? Before I tell you what this worldwide secret religion thinks of you and plans to do to you, let me tell you what this religion is. And how do I know about this religion? Because I used to belong to it. And today I'm renouncing it publicly, breaking my oath of silence, which they imposed upon me and every single other member during ceremonies under the penalty of death. That's why my life is in danger. Every person you're about to see has taken the same oath as I did, over and over, no matter where on earth they're from, including Scott Morrison, your Prime Minister and mine. But see, I was plucked from it, saved from its camouflaged clamps, from its extravagant deception and its spiritual corpse, by none other than God Almighty. No one else is going to tell you this. Not your favorite singer or politician, who more than likely also belong to this hidden religion. Nowhere will they speak because they love it. They love their lives. They love their success, the money, the worship they receive. And then there are those who have left but have never broken their oath out of fear. Trust me, you don't know who you're messing with here. The few that have spoken out, well, they lost everything. Or either their reputations and livelihoods are threatened or destroyed, or they're framed for a crime and end up in jail, or they're murdered and made to look like an accident or suicide. Now, just for the record, the God that saved me, which God was that? Jesus Christ, of course, the one and only. And he's the only one they hate, along with his disciples. So I'm invincible until he's done with me. That's why I don't fear him. Now, please don't let the name of Jesus scare you off just yet, because if you're an atheist, you're especially going to want to hear this. Christians and atheists are the most pathetic bunch in the eyes of this ancient religion, the one that rules them all. And I'm only going to show you the tip of the iceberg. And just like an iceberg, the full body of this secret religion continues down past the line of sight, beneath the ocean. It widens in mass and scope until it continues further into the depths, into ever-increasing darkness and invisibility, until it reaches its foundations, which is firmly established in thick blackness, completely unimaginable and not perceived at all to those who only ever get to see its tip peeking out of the ocean top, including most of its members. At least 75%, 80%. And unless you're a member of this religion and this secret society, as they call it, you won't be granted access to the world stage or of a position of influence. It's become a prerequisite for success now that they've gained pretty much full control and their members are in every place of prominence and power. So brace yourself for the truth that has been hiding in plain sight every day of your life, and for the mind-blowing, out-of-this-world climax to this video. Now look at this. There's a few different ways they display their allegiance. They don't do it often, and some don't do it at all. But most of them can't help themselves, because when they do it in public, it's a hidden statement. And that statement gives them a lot of satisfaction. The celebrities usually cover one eye, or hide it in some way, and obscure it, or emphasize it like this. Or they close one eye, or peek through it, through this hand gesture, all to highlight one single eye. It's called the all-seeing eye. Other times they'll just display a drawn eye somewhere, or a tattoo of it. The other method they use is what's commonly known as the hidden hand. Here, for example, River Phoenix is doing both the hidden hand and the all-seeing eye, so you can see the direct connection between the two. But in the political world, usually it's done with the hidden hand. So what's the name of this religion? Well, I'll tell you right now. But keep in mind, the magic word you're about to hear only hides the true religion inside of itself. That's how it's secretly flourished to spread like a cancer around the world. It's a religion within a fraternity. The name of the international fraternity, the one that camouflages, conceals, and cloaks the secret religion inside it, is this: Freemasonry. This is their official symbol, the square and compass, sometimes with a G in the middle, and sometimes with the eye, the all-seeing eye. This is the same eye that these people are referring to. That's where it comes from. The eye is sometimes placed in a triangle, and that's where this comes from, the eye in the triangle. Here's Chris Angel doing it, standing also next to a mate with a square and compass shirt on. Not a coincidence. This is not something Jay-Z invented. This is the religion Jay-Z belongs to, and proudly, as you're about to see. The Freemasons also place the eye at the top of a pyramid, because the Egyptian pyramid is integral to their secret system. Here it is on Chris Angel's shirt and Madonna's jacket. That's a Masonic symbol. The Freemasons are sometimes called the Masons for short, Here it is hidden in plain sight at the Australian MTV Awards. And this is the MTV headquarters, by the way. Now this is where the Freemasons are counting on you to lose interest, roll your eyes and move on. Because in their beliefs, the uninitiated, meaning you, are ignorant and stupid compared to them. You're technically called the vulgar and the profane. Please prove them wrong. And who do we trust more than anyone in the world right now? This bloke. And there he is, giving the sign of the hidden hand in front of the whole world. The hidden hand sign is technically called the sign of the master of the second veil in Freemasonry. Veil, get it? Meaning hidden. Now, am I saying that this thing that's happening in the world isn't real? No. I'm saying this. Spoken like a true Freemason. And do you remember this guy?
A safe place and a dangerous place. We must treat this new world order, this new world of COVID, we must treat this new world of COVID even in our own homes.
So what is this new world order that he accidentally mentioned? It's common language in Freemasonry, and it has been for a long time. For at least this long. Since the US $1 bill. Hidden in plain sight, complete with the pyramid in the eye. It's the ultimate goal of this religion. And I'll show you what the great work is, at any cost. And Australia, like every other country, is now up to its neck in this pyramidal, one-eyed, occult religion. This is the oath they have to take. This is the oath that I took. And your favorite actors and singers, just about all your heroes, just about, even some of your relatives. This is taken from an official Masonic publication, not intended for the public. This is Duncan's Ritual of Freemasonry. In brief, I, of my own free will and accord, do hereby promise and swear that I will never reveal any of the secrets, arts, parts, point or points of the Master Mason's degree to any person or persons whomsoever. This I solemnly, sincerely promise and swear, under no less penalty than having my body severed in two, my bowels taken out and burnt to ashes, so no more remembrance be had of so vile and wicked a wretch as I, should I ever violate my Master Mason's obligation. So now you know what they think of me. I'm a vile and wicked wretch for breaking my oath. So how can anyone ever trust a Freemason when he speaks about Freemasonry? Unless you're speaking to a rare breed like me. Never reveal any parts, not even a single point, to anyone. Here's another penalty from another degree, this time from Richardson's Monitor of Freemasonry, a legitimate Masonic publication for instructing and laying out the ritual. Binding myself under no less penalty than having my throat cut across, my tongue torn out by the roots, and my body buried in the rough sands of the sea. These are the penalties they swear to. And yes, the lodge has penal authority to execute. This is how they look when they're initiated. They have to remove all their clothing and jewelry, including wedding rings, crucifixes, the most meaningful things to them, no matter what. They have to go, because complete allegiance to the society is required. You're blindfolded at every initiation because you symbolize someone who lives in utter darkness before you receive the light of Freemasonry. And that light will become so obvious to you in a bit. At one point, when the blindfold comes off, this is what you're surrounded by. Blokes dressed like this, holding swords to your face. And that's nothing compared to what comes later. So your own wife or daughter don't qualify for discussion in these matters, unless they too are initiated to the same level as you. So please don't tell me that your grandfather or your neighbor is a Freemason and that there's nothing wrong with Freemasonry. How would you know when they're under oath never to reveal anything to anyone? The whole successful system is constructed by the art of lying to the public and to their own members of lower degrees. And we trust these people. Now here are the illustrations for the signs and handshakes. And you only receive them after the oath has been taken. This is the sign you do upon entering and exiting the ritual room while facing the Grand Master. It stands for throat slit, and it goes like this. A continual reminder of where you are and what awaits you if you have a change of heart or rebellious spirit. And this is the sign of the Master of the Second Veil. See? Purely Masonic. You don't pick this stuff up off the street. Now, this is how it's generally executed in the public arena. Sneaky, sneaky, huh? So when you see this, or this, you know for certain where it comes from and who they belong to. Look at Kramer on the front page of the privately circulated Freemason magazine, officially a Mason, like fellow brother Tony Abbott, and he's doing this. That's a direct link to the mysterious all-seeing eye of Freemasonry. There it is on the walls of the inside of a lodge room. So there's no reason to doubt that those who do this belong to this. This is another sign they do quite prominently. It's the sign of silence. This is from Richardson's Monitor of Freemasonry again, a finger over the lips. Now these signs are slightly morphed over time, so covering the mouth in a variety of ways is the expression of being bound to secrecy and silence. Silence or death, as Little Wayne here is portraying. Here's the oath of a second-degree Freemason on page 21 of Richardson's Monitor of Freemasonry. Binding myself under no less penalty than having my left breast torn open and my heart and vitals taken out, thrown over my left shoulder, should I wilfully transgress any part of this my solemn oath. In this degree, the penalty is to have your whole body dissected, bowels removed and heart cut into pieces and thrown into a field where you are eaten by animals, all to protect the secret religion of the rich, powerful and famous. In the Knights Templar degree, the penalty is to have your head cut off. Listen to this penalty, and this one has happened throughout history more than any other, because it works so well without having to resort to death or the threat of death, and it's easier to execute. Now this applies to all areas of industry. It's done through the ruining of your reputation by fellow Freemasons, pointing him out to the world as an unworthy vagabond, by opposing his interests, making life very hard for you, by deranging his business, by transferring his character wherever he may go, and by exposing him to the contempt of the whole fraternity, the secret society, and the world. Wow. How many people do you think they've threatened, ruined, framed, cheated, and utterly destroyed to protect their secret religion? And in case you think the Masonic Lodge hasn't got the authority over the initiates, especially the ones in the high degrees, this is from the Encyclopedia of Freemasonry. Under mandate, the orders and decrees of the Grand Master or of a Grand Lodge are called mandates, and implicit obedience to them is a Masonic obligation. And in Stickle's Monitor of Freemasonry, you plainly see they have a right to kill. A lodge has a right to exercise penal authority over its members. Exercise the penalties. So don't let a Mason tell you, oh no, that's just symbolic, the oath. Their laws are above the law of the land, and the proof are the oaths themselves. Because in normal society, you can't ask someone to accept having their throat slit as a penalty in order to be a member of any club or workplace. Unheard of. But not in Freemasonry, not in the secret society world. Written for Masons only and written by 33rd degree Masonic legend Albert Mackey, stating the same thing. Masonic definition of profane. One who is ignorant of the sacred rites of Freemasonry. One who is not allowed to enter the temple and behold the mysteries. And here, being uninitiated. That's the world at large. And here from this old ritual book written by the same legendary author, in the 33rd degree initiation, the Mason drinks wine from a human skull, which has been the cause for a few to leave Masonry, because they wonder, whose skull is this? In the 30th degree, part of the ritual involves stabbing skulls. Illustrated right here. The process of submitting the member further and further involves things like this. See, the candidate who's seeking admission into the next degree to receive more light has to be humiliated and intimidated. This guy here has his foot on the candidate's head. This is what our celebrities and politicians and the most prominent members of our society have done and continue to do. No one is exempt from this. And this is the intimidating and frightening path that you must take that binds you to the secret society before you are revealed the true beliefs of the religion. These truths were covered from the common people as with a veil. There's that veil again. And the mysteries were carried into every country. Freemasonry was secretly imported from the East into the whole world to weave its web in the darkness to increase and advance its agenda. The sages, meaning the enlightened ones, always had an esoteric creed, unknown to the vulgar. And here he says, to the end that the vulgar herd, seeing, might not see anything, and hearing, might comprehend nothing. Are they right? Am I wasting my time, laying it all down for nothing? Because they know you so well? Your favorite celebrity and politician's secret religion is beyond the reach of the vulgar. Vulgar is what you are to them. He won't tell you. She won't tell you. And they won't tell you. Because the other obscene penalties from the rituals of Freemasonry include having your ear and hand chopped off, or both hands, being hung in your own home, and my personal favorite, having the top of your skull cut off so your brain is cooked in the sun. Now, for the few of you that think of hospitals and charities and nursing homes when you hear the word Freemason, a word which I soon hope to never speak again after this video, well, it's a front, a cover story, and like everything else in this presentation, I'm going to show you. This too is for the poor Freemasons that are going to have the call to make an appearance in the comment section trying to defend their beloved fraternity. This is 33rd degree Freemason Manly Hall, who was named Freemason of the Century by the Scottish Rite Journal in 1990. And you'd be surprised how many Masons haven't heard of him, because they don't bother entering the Masonic library and searching out the mysteries themselves. These same Masons think they know something, and they parade themselves on websites and social media, calling people like me, oh, he's just an anti-Mason, anti-Mason. Blind fools at best, deceivers at worst. Well, the Freemason of the Century wrote in this book and in this chapter, Freemasonry is a fraternity within a fraternity, an outer organization, concealing an inner brotherhood of the elect. One visible and the other invisible. The visible society is a splendid camaraderie of free and accepted men and women, enjoined to devote themselves to ethical, educational, fraternal, patriotic, and humanitarian causes and concerns like hospitals and charities. But the invisible society is a secret and most august fraternity whose members are dedicated to the service of a mysterious arcanum arcanorum, meaning mystery of mysteries. Now I wonder what that could be. So once again, don't listen to the lost or deceptive Masons that'll come here trying to cheat you from the truth, telling you that I don't know what I'm talking about or calling me an anti-Mason. Because there you just heard it. There's a Masonry for the majority of Masons, and then there's the real thing, the secret religion, which should shock you when it's announced. These same lost or deceptive Masons also love to repeat, like parrots, that Freemasonry is not a religion. Well, what does the Freemason of the century have to say about that? From this book, he writes, Masonry is essentially a religious order. Not just a little bit religious, but essential. And here, the iconic giant of Freemasonry says in Morals and Dogma, every Masonic lodge is a temple of religion, and its teachings are instructions in religion. So please, sit down, Masons, because Freemasonry is a religion. Even you are deceived, just as the public is. Unless, of course, you're hungry enough to want to acquire all the power and climb up that pyramid closer to the eye that sees all. In that case, close your mouth, go back to your lodge, and good luck to you. Or, of course, grow some kahunas and be honest. But then you can't, right? Because you'd be breaking your oath. Sad. Oh, it's good to be free, under the wing of the true master. Another thing that Masons will repeatedly say is that this has nothing to do with Freemasonry, and it's just a conspiracy theory. Well, the 33rd degree Freemason of the century also wrote this book about 100 years ago, The Secret Destiny of America. And look at the front cover. And I'll tell you why America is so important for the ultimate goal of the secret society. It's disturbing, but it's also essential in understanding the near future and what's going to take place. So for the Freemasons that still say that this is not a Masonic design, especially this Masonic website called Masonic Info, insisting here that even the eye in the triangle or pyramid is not Masonic. Completely laughable and pure disinformation for the stupid masses. Try arguing against this. This is from a 1960 copy of the New Age magazine, an official organ of the Supreme Council of 33rd Degrees. No higher authority in the United States to speak of the relationship between Freemasonry and the US $1 bill. Masonic symbolism in a $1 bill. Look at them all. 13 leaves, 13 bars, 13 feathers, so on and so forth, and of course, this, the Masonic all-seeing eye, located in the pyramid. So, you think this is a conspiracy theory, or just a plain conspiracy? Well, here's JFK, yes, a Freemason, but one who had enough when he wanted to print money disassociated from the Masonic central banks, just like Abraham Lincoln. And he paid the price for it as well. Listen to the speech we never hear about in school. More proof that they control the education system here and everywhere. Please, just have a quick listen to this.
Ladies and gentlemen, the very word secrecy is repugnant in a free and open society. And we are, as a people, inherently and historically opposed to secret societies, to secret oaths, and to secret proceedings. For we are opposed around the world by a monolithic and ruthless conspiracy that relies primarily on covert means. I am asking your help in the tremendous task of informing and alerting the American people.
As I said in the beginning, you're just seeing the tip of the iceberg peeking out from the ocean top. I told you, all personalities in the field of great influence are initiated members of Freemasonry. Otherwise, they wouldn't be there. Within 60 seconds of me telling you what international Freemasonry really is, I'll prove it to you. Unequivocally, within 60 seconds. And then I'm going to drive it home, and then I'm going to show you what they're planning with this new age they're implementing, and then the conclusion, which is by far the most important part of this presentation. So when you hear me tell you the truth in just a moment, don't switch off in disbelief because you can't believe that your favorite idol or whoever could possibly be involved, like you know them or something. You don't know these people. You do know that they're under oath never to reveal their beliefs to you. The vile multitude. It's time to trust your eyes now, not your feelings, especially after all that I've shown you. This is why the secret religion is so hidden. This is why it's so ingeniously designed through layers of lies upon lies, cloak upon cloak, and oath upon oath, concealing the truth for its chosen few. What is Freemasonry? What is the most secret yet most powerful religion in the world? Well, that's easy. We live in an evil, evil world. So there's only one religion that befits it. Freemasonry is Satanism in disguise. Now start the clock. From Morals and Dogma, prepared for the Supreme Council for 33rd degree. That's the highest degree in Freemasonry, and written by the undisputed heavyweight champion of modern Freemasonry, Albert Pike. On page 321, he boldly states, Lucifer, the light bearer, strange and mysterious name to give to the spirit of darkness. Lucifer, son of the morning, is it he who bears the light? Doubt it not. Did you hear that? Lucifer is God, and do not doubt it. Come on now, stay with me. Here from the Encyclopedia of Freemasonry, written by 33rd degree Freemason, a beloved member of the craft, Albert Mackey. He tells us whose name represents the good principle in Freemasonry's secret worldview. Writing under the Masonic meaning of the word pentagram, he says that the pentagram, depending on its position, represents good or evil. See how he puts the positive aspect in the first position? Good first, evil second. Good or evil, light or darkness, victory or death, initiation or profanation, Lucifer or Vesper. Lucifer is good. Lucifer is light. Lucifer is victory. And Lucifer is true initiation. See, if you're not initiated, you're profane. If you haven't figured out that God is Lucifer, you're vulgar and profane. You're stupid, in their own words. That's the beginning of their big secret. God is the devil, and we're already in hell right now. Now from the Freemason of the Century, Manly Hall, and this will make it 3 out of 3 legends of Freemasonry stating the same thing. In The Lost Keys of Freemasonry on page 76, when the Mason learns that the key to the warrior on the block is the proper application of the dynamo of living power, he has learned the mystery of his craft. The seething, surging energies of Lucifer are in his hands. Do you see? The world's hidden religion, with its universal one-eye symbolism, who was revealed slowly and by degrees only to its dedicated members, is Satanism, or Luciferianism as they prefer to call it. Now all the oaths make sense, don't they? Now all the rituals make sense. Now all the penalties make sense. And their secret signs and symbols and handshakes all make sense. While the bulk of Freemasons make the external image of the fraternity and know nothing of who rules over them and who or what they're protecting. But which craft do you think the Freemason of the Century is talking about here? Which craft? Which craft? Witchcraft. Witchcraft. You need to slowly wake up now. Witchcraft is the royal art of Freemasonry, jealously guarded and reserved for the few. I'll show you clear as day that this is in fact true. This is the symbol of Satanism. And this is the symbol of the Lodge of Female Freemasonry called the Order of the Eastern Star. Look at that. Satanism, Freemasonry. Trust your eyes. This is the symbol of the Church of Lucifer, founded by a 33rd degree Freemason, which I'll prove. Look at the Masonic squaring compass in the design. The Church of Satan and Lucifer, two sides of the same coin, nurtured and brought to an organized international level of power and influence by Freemasonry, in secret, and all done right under our noses. And if you think that your politicians or religious leaders or favorite idols can't be a part of this, you have to try and snap out of it, or suspend your everyday beliefs just for a moment, and I will clearly show you how it's not only possible, but it's actual. Please, I feel like it's now or never. If you don't get a glimpse of this now, then when? Who else is going to tell you this? When will you next be confronted with this? This is reality. And as much as you thought that ordinary people came into positions of power through hard work or concern for society or family connections, combined with brains and talent, that's not the case. That's the fantasy. This is the reality. They all go through Freemasonry. You have to remember that to them, Lucifer is good. Lucifer is the liberator. Jesus is the suppressor. Lucifer is pure love. Jesus is impure love. Lucifer left heaven for you. Jesus was crucified because he was a false Messiah. The world has always been deceptive, and we have been magnificently deceived. Here is an incredible example. Pay attention. This should blow your mind. Charles Darwin, the father of atheism and rationalism, was an initiated Freemason, doing the hidden hand of Freemasonry in this picture, and the vow of silence in this one. This would have remained unknown to us because no one's going to teach us this. But now we have the tools to see his beliefs, not through his words, but through his signs and symbols. I told you they can't help but to show off their religions because they think we're stupid, vile, and ignorant. And I've proven that to you as well. So once again, are you going to prove them right by switching off and ignoring this? Well, unfortunately, more than 90% of you will. But what I'm giving you here is priceless knowledge because no amount of money or success can substitute its importance. And I'm risking everything but my own salvation to share it with you. This is the secret to their success, a lying tongue and a lying spirit from the 1st degree to the 33rd degree, to each other and to us. I've proven that as well. And what did Jesus, how did he describe their God? The father of lies. How accurate. The one who comes to cheat, kill and destroy. How accurate again when I tell you their plans. Look here, Charles Darwin is noted as an influential figure by the Satanic Temple. And proof for them, apart from the intelligent design that is all around us, that Lucifer is real and that he's the god of this realm, is the power of witchcraft or magic. Magic works because there's a hierarchy or a pyramidal power structure in the spirit realm, a realm devoid of any love for you. And these spirits can be conjured up and summoned by the practitioners of the royal art of Freemasonry. They ask for something in return, however. Listen to Bob Dylan, a Freemason. Hidden hand, one eye symbolism.
You're doing these songs, you're still on tour.
I do, but I don't take it for granted.
Why do you still do it? Why are you still out here?
Well, it goes back to the destiny thing. I made a bargain with it, a long time ago, and I'm holding up my hand.
What was your bargain?
To get where I am now.
Should I ask who you made the bargain with?
with the chief commander.
On this earth?
And this earth, and then in a world we can't see.
How does one communicate with Bob Dylan's chief commander, Lucifer? By the jealously guarded royal art of Freemasonry. Witchcraft. This is from the Encyclopedia of American Religions. Secrecy is bolstered by a system of initiations and degrees, the Freemasonic system. The material which is kept secret is the magical knowledge of the group. This knowledge may consist of rituals and powerful magical formulas. Do you think J.K. Rowling isn't a Luciferian? In this article, J.K. Rowling reveals the inspiration behind the Deathly Hallows symbol. And what is it? The Masonic square compass, with the one eye that all the celebrities mimic. That's the inspiration. They're all members of the secret society. If you think that doesn't prove anything, here she is with her new tattoo. It says Solve Coagula. Also a song titled by fellow Freemason Marilyn Manson. And where does it come from? Here, the Baphomet. The image of Lucifer as conceptualized by another Freemason, Eliphas Levi, in his book, The Doctrine of Transcendental Magic. This horrid thing, with breasts, a penis, and a goat's head with 2 horns. has these words written on its arms: Solve Coagula. The impact of the meaning of these two words should disturb you to soberness when I tell you about them. Because apart from other things, they involve the process in which the new system will be implemented at unbelievable cost to you and I. Here's a statue of the Baphomet at the temple, Satanic temple, complete with two little kids admiring it. That's J.K. Rowling's religion, Satanism. The secret religion for the highly evolved and the highly successful. Welcome to the real world. The same Masonic author writes in The Doctrine of Transcendental Magic, in the ceremonies practiced at reception by all secret societies, there are found indications of a doctrine which is everywhere carefully concealed, and that is witchcraft. And in his History of Magic, he tells us it is the royal art, and that's what Freemasonry calls it. And where did he get his inspiration for the Baphomet? From the Knights Templar, another secret society who were banned, and some of its members were executed in the 1300s for glorifying evil, as it's openly stated here in the Satanic Rituals. And where do modern day Knights Templars reside now? Within high degree of Freemasonry, right here. Again from the encyclopedia, and listen to this. The continuing impact of speculative Freemasonry, which means modern day Freemasonry, provided fertile soil in which new magical orders could grow. Magical orders, meaning other branches of secret societies, of which Freemasonry is the umbrella. Here's an article on Barack Obama, and that's his hands adjusting his presidential seal. And there's his Masonic ring, and the sign of the devil's horns, over and over. Freemasonry and Satanism are intertwined. Look at these Masonic politicians throwing up the devil's horns. George W. Bush. Look how sneaky and sinister the look on his face is here, and the manner in which he's delivering the sign in front of the whole world. Is he a fan of rock music? Is he saying I love you in sign language for the deaf, like some people like to say? This is his fraternal order called Skull and Bones, also known as the Order of Death, where you lie naked in a coffin with what's called a temple prostitute during initiation. Clearly a Masonic order, with this guy displaying the hidden hand of Freemasonry. In Stanley Kubrick's last movie before his death, he's telling you that all prominent members of industry, including politics, as the movie goes on to show, are members of a satanic secret society. In it, he shows the members engage in an orgy and feast after the ceremony of dedication to their horned god. To identify which secret society he's referring to, he leaves the clues in the artwork. Not once, not twice, but 3 times. The One-Eyed Religion. And who do you think the title of the movie is dedicated to? None other than the stupid, ignorant, and uninitiated masses watching the movie. And you know it now. He knew that when we'd leave the cinema, we'd be commenting on the performance of Tom Cruise, or giggling about the orgy scene, or just being disappointed because the movie went too long, or some other meaningless critique, with eyes wide shut. Look at the cover of his other movie, A Clockwork Orange. The eye on top of the pyramid. And on his shirt, the word devil in Italian. Let me take it up a notch, in case this isn't registering. Listen to the founder of the Satanic Church, Anton LaVey, tell us in his book, The Satanic Rituals, which is a companion to the Satanic Bible, Masonic orders have contained the most influential men in many governments, and virtually every occult order has many Masonic roots. This is back in 1972 he said this. Now 40 years later it should read all governments, not many. And why is the founder of the Church of Satan talking about Freemasonry, the most respectable and charitable fraternity in the world, that no one seems to talk about and that we never hear about in school? This is why. Because the Satanic Ritual is a blend of Gnostic, Kabbalistic, Hermetic, and Masonic elements. That's crazy, because Freemasonry is a blend of Gnostic, Kabbalistic, and Hermetic elements too. Any Masonic writer will confirm that. But how can that be? Because Freemasonry is Satanism in disguise. On page 106, every rite of the Black Order employed Masonic principles. Every rite of these Black Orders, one of which was called Freunden von Lucifer, which translates to Friends of Lucifer. And guess what? There are numerous manifestations of Satanism in Masonic ritual, including the goat, the coffin, and the death's head. Please awaken, O sleeper, and let the glorious light of the truth dawn upon your sleepy eyes. How did Freemasonry get away with this? Just like Jesus, the greatest enemy of theirs, said they would, by dressing the wolves as sheep. A satanic underground carefully cloaked in Christian trappings. That's how Freemasonry got away with it. We can't find out about it because they run the media and the education system clearly. John F. Kennedy was brutally assassinated after he attempted to inform us that we are opposed around the world by a monolithic conspiracy. Jesus said, narrow is the road that leads to life and broad is the road that leads to destruction. The Freemason of the century says, no true Mason can be narrow, for his lodge is the divine expression of all broadness. Because broad are the divine laws of nature. While they glorify those laws, Christianity breaks those laws. It becomes supernatural, because only then can you love your enemy. And so it goes that Christianity is despised by Freemasonry, the real Freemasons, because their Bible is nature, and by nature they know the personality traits of their god Satan, because he's the god of this world, just as the Freemasons, the enemies of mankind, say that he is, and just like Jesus said he was too. So they believe that Jesus is evil because he denies human nature and burdens us with the knowledge of sin. Observable nature, that's what guides the Masons' ethics and the Masons' morals. That's why they're called free Masons. Believe you me, because they're free from moral obligations, free from sin, from guilt. They're free from Jesus Christ. These people are introducing this new system of the world, this new age. You're going to miss Christianity when it's gone. Mark my words. Because you have no rights in the eyes of nature, which is the Bible of Freemasonry and Satanism. And soon that will become painfully plain as a fact of life. Now please, I give you fair warning of what's to come in this presentation. It's very disturbing, or at least it should be. But cause to celebrate follows the disgusting things you're about to see. This is precisely where my own life and well-being come into danger. So let me say this right now. If you hear of my sudden death, or of my possession of 0.5 kilogram of cocaine or child porn or my overdose or my suicide, remember this video. Let's read the description of the apron worn in this degree. Speaking of the initiates, it states, they wear white aprons sprinkled with blood red and lined and bordered with black. On the flap of the apron, a bloody arm holding a dagger, and on the apron, a bloody arm holding a bloody head by the hair. Now this is why there's an illustration of a decapitated head. And this is going to become to a bone-chilling conclusion. So during this ritual, the candidate removes the blindfold and discovers a basin of water with a tumbler beside it. He's also astonished to find a human head lying on the floor. The master of ceremonies returns and directs the candidate to take up the knife in his right hand and the head in his left. Yes, this Pope, this rock star, this pop star, this actor, this actress, and this beloved Prime Minister, this is what they've done. All of them, hands down. Now, to be fair, I don't know if these heads are real heads. I never got that far to find out. But I will tell you this. All the skulls they use they're real. All the skeletons they use they're real. And they run every single noteworthy funeral home in Australia and the world. I know that personally and for a fact. Once again, you are only seeing the tip of the iceberg, because I can't bring myself to tell you about what I really know of the rituals that come after the 33rd degree Freemasonry. For as much as they celebrate life in various grotesque ways, they also celebrate death in ritual form, which are the things I can't speak of to you. They have to celebrate death in order to prove that they can see things through the all-seeing eye, the one that sees above evil and above good, the checkered floorboard where things kill each other to live, where life is cruel, where morals are broad. There is no sin, there is only nature. See, these Masonic rituals are designed to desensitize the candidate further and further in preparation for the raw truth of Satanism, the truth which is plainly stated by the Grand Pontiff of Universal Freemasonry. Lucifer is the light bearer, and that you should doubt it not, from their own literature and from their own mouths. Until finally the candidate's introduction into the royal art of Freemasonry, witchcraft, the ancient craft. Why do you think that witchcraft has disappeared? It never disappeared. It was hidden, forced to go into hiding by the appearance of Jesus on the human scene. Another reason why he's passionately hated. Remember from the Encyclopedia of American Religions, the continuing impact of speculative modern Freemasonry provided fertile soil in which new magical orders could grow. Watch this 2-minute clip. I can vouch for every single thing you hear come from the former Masons' mouths.
In the initiation in Freemasonry, we had to be recommended by another Mason. Well, in order to join witchcraft, you have to be first screened. You have to be recommended by somebody currently in witchcraft.
Well, when I was initiated, I was blindfolded and bound by a rope, and on your bare chest was thrust the point of a spear.
In witchcraft, we were initiated through a very involved ritual, initiation ceremony, wherein the candidate was led blindfolded, bound by a rope to the edge of the magic circle.
And the rope is around your neck and you're led forward. And up front, at the eastern end of the building, is a person who's a worshipful master. And you kneel down before him as if he were a god.
You were met by the high priest or high priestess at that time, usually with a sword to your chest.
When I went to enter the lodge, a sharp object was put to my left breast. And I was warned that should I reveal any of the secrets of Freemasonry, to know what to expect.
When you're presented before the high priest, a sword is held against your chest, and you actually take a blood oath, promising to remain faithful to the secrets of witchcraft.
Well, when you are in the room, this blindfold is taken away from you, and this is a time when they say that you're coming from darkness into light.
During the initiation ceremony, the initiate is led by the lieutenant of the high priest and is challenged at the edge of the circle by someone saying, "Who goes there?" And the answer is, "One from the world of darkness."
In Masonry, the prayers are ended with "So mote it be."
Oh, and one of the other aspects of, or distinctives of the craft was that we would always end any spell or ritual where we released the power, this is where the power was released, with the word "So mote it be."
By now this should sound like a stupid question, but why do you think that the initiation ceremonies into witchcraft are almost identical to that of Freemasonry? I'm not even going to answer that. Come on, people, wake up with me. If they believe in do what thou wilt, what do you think they will do to you? And what do you think they'll do in order to build this new world? This is from a commentary on his Book of the Law. The Beast 666 adviseth that all children should be accustomed from infancy to witness every type of sexual act. Do what thou wilt. And what about the royal art of Freemasonry? Magic is the highest, most absolute, and most divine knowledge of natural philosophy. What a statement. The highest, most absolute and divine. Well, let's have a closer look into some of the more hidden secrets of the most divine natural philosophy known as magic. Any living being is a storehouse of energy, varying in quantity according to the size and health of the animal. At the death of the animal, this energy is liberated suddenly. The animal, therefore, should be killed within the circle, within the magic circle, so that energy that's released can be captured and directed to serve the will of the witch, male or female. This is a science, a hidden science. But now hear this, coming from a 33rd degree Freemason, and don't you forget that. For the highest spiritual working, one must accordingly choose that victim which contains the greatest and purest force, a male child of perfect innocence and high intelligence is the most suitable sacrifice. Can you see? This is who Jay-Z is quoting on his top. This is who this Jonas brother holds in high esteem. This is who the Beatles have on their front cover as a figure they admire. Does this picture make more sense now? All Freemasons, yes indeed. And by the way, that's where Jay-Z got his symbol from Satanism, as portrayed here by Satanist and Freemason Aleister Crowley and by Satanic Church founder Anton LaVey. Does anyone still think that Freemasonry isn't Satanism in disguise? Let's finally take a peek into the royal art of Freemasonry. And this is the briefest way I can show you from the complete book of magic and witchcraft. This is a practitioner's manual, not from some bogus author trying to expose witchcraft. Just so you can get it through your head that this is real and this is protected. The writer or compiler of this God-forsaken book warns the reader that the recipes may seem disgusting, that the knowledge revealed has been forbidden and has caused suffering and death to witches and the victims of witches. You don't think witchcraft was a serious menace in times past and present? Come with me and I'll show you how bad this menace actually gets, as the world's most powerful and secret religion moves ever closer to fulfilling its biblical destiny, and it will. Close your eyes or not, it will fulfill its destiny. Firstly, let's connect this sick art straight to modern Freemasonry with the word abracadabra, both written in triangular form from the Manual of Witchcraft and from the Encyclopedia of the Secret Society that your Prime Minister belongs to. And just like high-ranking Freemasons, male and female witches also drink out of a human skull. But here the practitioner drinks wine, in which they first dissolve or boil the brains or heart of an animal, before consuming it all from the human skull. In this ritual, the initiate is instructed to drink in the night at spring water, out of a skull of one that hath been slain. That's right, out of the skull of a human who's been murdered or sacrificed. Otherwise, eat a pig with a knife that slew a man. Please don't turn away. Look straight ahead and open your eyes to the planet you are on, because the real monster under your bed doesn't actually go away when you close your eyes. In other rituals of the craft, you burn a rooster while he's alive. With the use of a poisonous plant used in ointments and potions of witches, you can assure death and destruction on a victim. You want to make a female enemy sterile, or a male enemy impotent for the rest of his life? Otherwise, you can just kill them. The hand of glory is the severed hand that is dried and preserved to be used in black magic. Yes, a dead human hand. A black circle is most effective for operations of evil. The use of blood and sex in ritual was considered helpful for obtaining the necessary energy to successfully work magic or achieve mystical insight. But here's where the darkness thickens even further. Animals such as black cats or children may be sacrificed, and participants may drink the blood of the sacrifice. And just so you know that Stanley Kubrick wasn't joking, an orgy of participants sometimes follows the mass. No remorse, just science. The science of witchcraft, the royal art. And here, what's necessary for the working is the fat of young children, dead children. How many children do you think go missing in Australia every year? That's how many. And what about the world? Is it 1 million? Well, according to the International Centre for Missing and Exploited Children, it's 8 million children per year. Do you think that the highest, most absolute, and most divine knowledge of natural philosophy has anything to do with that? Any chance of an international secret system that is bolstered by initiations and degrees and bound under the most brutal penalties that the human mind can ever devise? Do you think that has any involvement? Any chance of that? The original order of the Knights Templar were found guilty of this very same obscene ritual. And where do you find the modern variant of the Knights Templars of today? I told you, in the highest degree of Freemasonry, right here. Here's a couple of them now. And what's on this Templar's head? From the Masonic Encyclopedia, remember? A symbol of the Baphomet, according to 33rd degree Aleister Crowley. And we could confirm that in the Satanic Bible. That's exactly what's hiding deep inside of Freemasonry. I'm only showing you this to show you the reality of Satanism and the demonic realm, the world you can't see.
On this earth? And then this earth, and then in the world we can't see.
Look here. The hierarchy of demons occupies a more important place in both black and white magic rituals. Both black and white. This is where the power of witchcraft comes from. And this is the reason these bizarre rituals actually function and actually work. Because after the ritual is performed on earth, its effects are carried out to their conclusion in the spirit realm by spiritual beings or demons, actual demons. The reality that is hidden from you. Because if you found out that Satan was real, then that would have to make Jesus Christ real too. And he is the one they hate. And if Jesus Christ is real, that changes everything. And this is how much they hate him. The prayer that Jesus taught his disciples is performed backwards. The high priest is sometimes naked. A prostitute assists him, and a naked virgin, who may later be deflowered, is the altar. Everything that is sacred is defiled, and everything that is filthy is honored as pure. Because of their burning hatred of Jesus Christ, just as he's hated by the fallen angels that they worship. It gets worse when you hear what they use as a substitute for the bread that Jesus broke and told his disciples to eat in remembrance of him. A wafer which initiates me with this, this, and this. Or the name of Satan may be written upon it. And this isn't even witchcraft. This is just a ceremony announcing who they love and who they hate. So is Satan real? It continues to state in the hierarchy of demons at the very top, Satanakia, whose title is the Commander-in-Chief. What did Bob Dylan, the Freemason, call the one he made a bargain with?
Should I ask who you made the bargain with? with the chief commander.
Same title, Commander-in-Chief, Chief Commander. Are you following? In case the darkness is getting a little too thick and encompassing for you, let's shine a little light. The true light that only the Gospels can supply. Speaking to us humans and revealing something about Satan, the Gospels state, you follow the spirit of the age in this world system as dominated by the commander of the spiritual powers of the air. Satan, the god of this world, the commander. You still think the Gospels are wrong or fake? See, Satanists know that the spirits also live in the air, just as the Gospels reveal. You can summon any of these demonic spirits by name if you possess the royal art. Who do you think this figure on the front cover represents? A magician who is inadequately prepared and cannot attain his desires may seek the aid of Satan. That's who this is. Now that you know, hopefully for a fact, that these are the top of the human food chain. Do you think they'd be fooling around with stupid fairy tales? No, witchcraft and Satanism is absolutely real, hence their earthly power. This demon here, fifth in the pyramid structure, holds the title of Inspector General. And what's the title of the highest degree in Freemasonry, who exists in every local lodge in every suburb, a suburb near you? Inspector General. Same title as the living demon. Do you believe me now? You can even conjure Lucifer himself, or be Beelzebub, who the Gospels call the Prince of the Devils. Both of whom are listed as superior spirits in this book of witchcraft and magic. I can show you so much more from this disgusting book, but I'll cut it off here with the seal of Saturn, a demonic sigil from the complete book of magic and witchcraft. And this is his seal. Can you see? Do you see? This is the society that lives amongst you, above you. The one-eyed religion of Freemasonry, hidden right in front of those who have their eyes wide shut. Yes, people, now you know how Satanism has functioned out of sight and out of mind. You still think there's no such thing as witchcraft? Or that it only existed in the olden days? You still think that blood isn't a part of the royal art? You still think that local Masonic lodges of the world are not filtering systems for Satanists and a cloak for organized Satanism with a grand master plan for the world? You think there's nothing to the blood sacrifice of Jesus Christ? There exists a hidden and guarded science of the art of blood sacrifice. You think there was no science behind Jesus' crucifixion, a deeper reality that we can't see or understand? You think Jesus didn't know what he was doing? Or are you one of those who still think he didn't exist? Tell me, how can they hate something that doesn't exist? But I once heard from a Freemason, an honest one, in about 2016, after I posted this picture on Facebook. He knew the truth, just like you do now, or just like you should. And he wrote to me, and he said, by the time we are done, every church will be a brothel. Well, in case you think that that's impossible, this is a fashion show that was held in a church, a real church, and it was organized by high-ranking Freemasons, who you will see now to be Satanists. Designed to be a heart-wrenching mockery and a colossal sign of the times, this event. Just so you know, it's a Masonic production. Here's the inside of a lodge. See those twin pillars? Well, here they are. See the Masonic checkered floorboard? Well, there it is. See the Masonic square and compass? Well, there it is. And do you see the eye of Freemasonry? Yeah, there they are. The lower square in the square and compass has been disfigured so that as to not make it too obvious. But now that we've established that, here is the spirit of Freemasonry, as displayed through just a few of the models. This one wears the horns of the Baphomet, the horns of Satan, with his all-seeing eye in the background. More horns. This model wears the all-seeing eye, as does this one. And this disgusting thing with another huge all-seeing eye of Lucifer in the background. Then there's this, with a satanic pentagram on her face. And finally, this male model in a skirt with two satanic inverted crosses of Jesus Christ on his top in a church. Oh, the morbid victory of the Freemasons. Unstoppable. For now. World Economic Forum logo with this slash through the O's is of course representative of the number of the ruler of the New Age, 666. The barcode is the primitive version of the worldwide system that Jesus predicted would revolve around the number of the beast. And as you can see, the base of every single barcode in all the world is 666. No matter if the lines are on the ends and in the middle are elongated or not. I found that out from the horse's mouth in an interview with the man who was commissioned by IBM to come up with a new way to automate data collection. There are in fact 3 sixes in the Google logo, which comes from this occult symbol. Coincidence? This is a Masonic squaring compass designed by the Manal Masonic Lodge, symbolizing world unity. Up the top you find the logo of the United Nations. Well, there are 33 segments in the UN logo, symbolizing the 33 degrees of Freemasonry. See this crop circle here with the Masonic eye on top of the pyramid? I know nothing about crop circles and the phenomenon of them, but I know how many rays are coming off the eye. 33. 33 degrees of Freemasonry. Don't forget that the highest authority of Freemasonry already admitted to be the designers of the pyramidal seal in a 1962 edition of their magazine, The New Age. I've shown you how the inverted pentagram makes for the spelling of the word Mason in the same seal. Well, that same pentagram with the elongated top horns appears here in a European Union logo. An inverted satanic pentagram right in front of our eyes. Here's the European Union building architecturally mimicking the Tower of Babel. That was the very same tower that the God of the Bible destroyed thousands of years ago, according to the Bible, when Nimrod, one of the admitted founders of the original craft of Freemasonry, tried to unite the world under one world government. So this logo and this building design is a clear statement to the God who intervened the first attempt at a world government. In a 1962 article written by former US President and Freemason's wife, Edith Roosevelt, in the New Hampshire News, and speaking of the spiritual counterpart building for the United Nations, called the Temple of Understanding, she writes that the symbolism planned for the building dates back to the black magic practiced by the high priests of ancient Egypt, and that the building will contain a giant eye. You don't have to wonder why now, because you know why. This clip only goes for a few minutes. And keep in mind, the only reason I'm showing you this to you is because the writer and director of the preview of this movie-style documentary was murdered, along with his wife and his little daughter and his dog, all before the production could begin. The murder was made to look like a murder-suicide, the news of which never made national broadcasts, just the local news. Case closed, nothing to see here. You have to ask yourself why. After so many movies with a dystopian, World War, totalitarian type theme, why was this movie so dangerous and strictly unacceptable for public viewing that a whole family would be murdered? Well, this movie was going to tell us about America's secret destiny. And one other thing which you'll see on the other side of this clip, an amazing thing. As titled by Manly P. Hall over 100 years ago, what's the secret destiny of America? Well, it's this.
Last night I dreamt about how things were.
Of every enemy of the state!
And then I woke up here.
The people to know about. Who is the identity of this executioner? If you look closely, you will see that this terrifying character is wearing something around his waist. It appears to look like an apron. The executioner wears a Freemason apron, complete with the all-seeing eye, the compass, and the two pillars. I do believe David Crowley is trying to tell us something.
Well, that's why the director was murdered. And his wife, daughter, and dog. I think of them often, and sometimes when I need spiritual sobering up, I think of that fateful and evil night where that beautiful Christian family were brutally eliminated. If you think he wasn't onto something, well, he paid the greatest price to share this with you. Prophecy will be fulfilled. Listen to the words that come right after the execution by guillotine scripture in the Gospels. And I saw those who were such that they did not worship the beast, nor his image, and did not receive his mark of identification upon their forehead and hand. Remember this mark in the video? I'm not saying that the director knew what the mark would be, but based on the symbology, he knew who would be behind it. Look at the triangular symbol of the Freemasons. The Masonic triangle around the eye, and the Brotherhood of Saturn. Now look at the front cover of the book written by New Age author Maurice Nicoll. The mark. Same symbol. Identical to the symbol used by J.K. Rowling, who said its design was inspired by the Freemasons. Who has this tattoo, which represents the Baphomet. Well, Solve Coagula is the process in which they will bring this New World system to life. It's identical to the Masonic motto of order out of chaos. Solve means dissolve or destroy, and coagula means to bring the elements back together into a new and higher form, a new and higher system. Jesus described it as the beast system, and one way or another, we will be marked as a form of identification in order to participate. But first, chaos must ensue. A deep Masonic truth, which is mostly true anyway, is that destruction precedes construction. It's like having to destroy a tree in order to create a table. The same principle applies to creating the New Age. That's why I know that the process which involves the creation of a new system must involve the destruction of this one. That's right. Lucifer is the savior of the secret societies. The solar system was the manifestation of the consciousness of a very great being known as the Solar Logos. And if we go back to the secret society of the Brotherhood of Saturn, we read that mankind will be able to take a measure of egocentric power from the Solar Logos. In this way, Lucifer is the savior of humankind. Do you see who you're dealing with? These are the people above you, the rich, powerful, influential, overflowing in all areas of those who are steering society, and they're about to reach their destination. Who showed you? Who told you? Who warned you? Jesus Christ did. There is one who predicted it all, and they know that. That's why he's been so thoroughly discredited, or so it seems. Yes, the nutjob Christian was right all along. Remember one last thing before I close. From Masonic New Age author Christopher Hyatt, who spoke of the well-planned for and long-awaited invocation of the Prime Minister of the world, when he wrote in his book, A Massive Truth That I Wish with All My Being That You Would Grasp. Both satanic cults and Christian fundamentalists are closer to seeing the truth than most normal people. The world has always been at war, a spiritual war from the beginning. And if you don't know it, then you're losing the battle. The gospel tells us so accurately that the enemy we wrestle against is not made of flesh and blood, but it is made of spiritual forces of evil in heavenly realms. That's where the real war is being waged, in the spirit. And now that we know what secret societies are and what they've tapped into, we can rest assured that that statement from the Gospels is true. That's why the common denominator between all of the secret societies is the anti-Christian sentiment. You need to ask yourself why. Why the negative obsession with Christianity? It's not as if Christians run the game. Freemasons have banned Bibles from schools. They teach evolution as a fact. Pornography is thriving. There are no Christian protesters left. Homosexuality is rampant and protected, and Christianity is buckled. Which church preaches against Freemasonry? Which church is telling you about Satan and his hidden church, which has permeated every vein of society? So why do they hate Jesus if they're at the top of their game? Because Jesus Christ is real, that's why. And he left us prophecy that they can't escape. See, the more they win, the more they fall into the hands of the prophecies of Jesus and his Gospels. What a blessing for you, those who would grasp this as truth. What good news for you, and what a terrifying conundrum for them. If you've come this far and you still don't care or still unwilling to trust, then you deserve what's coming as a law of nature. Because you've been warned of all of it. The one world government clearly on its way. Cashless society, inevitable. The mark that each person will receive, without which you won't be able to buy or sell or participate in this world. And the manifestation of the name, the number of the name of the one who will implement this system. 666. All of it is coming to pass. Inescapable we are from him. Everything and everyone will fall back into his hands, where he will finally separate the goats from the sheep. Now watch the Bible destroy Freemasonry like no other book in 2 minutes. Regarding their lodges and obelisks, their heart is faithless. Now they must bear their guilt. The Lord will break down their altars and destroy their sacred obelisks. And speaking of the bloodline that gave birth to Jesus, God says, "You shall not set up for yourselves a sacred pillar, which the Lord God hates." See what you're up against, Freemasonry? While Freemasonry meets and speaks in darkness and secret, Jesus said, "I have spoken openly for all the world to hear, and in secret I've said nothing." Freemasons are known as builders. Well, the stone which the builders rejected has become the cornerstone. Everyone who falls on that stone will be dashed to pieces. Anyone on whom it falls will be crushed. Every Masonic lodge is built so that all the members face the east. Who are these men with their backs toward the temple, facing the east and worshipping the sun? It is detestable. Freemasonry does evil in secret with their hidden hand, but they blow a trumpet over the hand that does good. But Jesus says, when you give to the needy, do not let your left hand know what your right is doing. Your good deed must be in secret, and your Father who sees what is done in secret will reward you. You can't become a Mason if you're broke, blind, maimed, or have a criminal record. Jesus said, but when you give a banquet, invite the poor, the crippled, the lame, the blind. Freemasonry takes pride in its secret rituals and is hungry to rule the world. The Gospels say that their destiny is destruction. They make appetite their God. They take pride in what should bring shame. Their minds are set on earthly things. Freemasonry believes that the light is but darkness visible. The Bible says, woe to those who call evil good and good evil, who put darkness for light. And Jesus further said, if therefore the light which is in you be darkness, how great a darkness that would be. Freemasons spend their whole lives taking gruesome oaths of secrecy. Jesus said, but above all things, my brethren, stop the practice of putting yourselves under oath. Freemasonry is built upon a hierarchical system, a pyramidal system. Jesus said, for everyone who exalts themselves will be humbled, and whoever humbles themselves will be exalted. We could go on, but we're going to end on this one. Exclusively written for the practices in the lodge room of political Freemasonry. A troublemaker and a villain, who goes about with a corrupt mouth, who winks with his eye, signals with his feet, and teaches with his fingers, who plots evil with deceit in his heart. He always stirs up conflict. Therefore, the disaster will overtake him. He will suddenly be destroyed. That is Freemasonry through and through. And apart from the man in the mirror, prior to your baptism of the Holy Spirit, Freemasonry is the villain. They do go about with a corrupt mouth as they are sworn to secrecy. They do proverbially wink with the eye, making the one eye. They most certainly signal with their feet and teach with their hands and fingers. In the lodge, I can vouch. And they do plot evil, stir up conflict, in order to further their goal of the New Age and the New World Order, the greatest conflict being up ahead. But thank God Almighty above, the verse also tells us that disaster will overtake them, and they will be destroyed. One frightful and glorious day. You can count on that. Because the only thing you can count on in this world, more than death, more than taxes, is the Son of God. If you ever needed intellectual proof that Jesus Christ is real and living right now, this is it. If Jesus and the Gospels weren't true, then Luciferians wouldn't be running the world. Atheists would, or some other version of modern man. Anyone, but not Satanists, not the passionate enemies of Jesus. If Jesus wasn't real, then so-called Satanists would be scattered here and there over the world, in little local covens, by silly teenagers rebelling against society and living in their own la-la land with their own little make-believe devils, being make-believe rebels. But no, people who believe that Lucifer is God run the world from top to bottom. They are dedicated to the core. They're highly sophisticated. They make the movies, they star in the movies. They write the songs, they sing and dance. They are worshipped as idols. They set trends, they live large, and they practice witchcraft, complete with sex magic and blood sacrifices. Why? Why do they do that? Why would they bother? Because witchcraft is real and has been since before civilization began, hidden from the vile multitude who have been stupefied by propaganda to the point that they don't believe in anything anymore. And who waged a war on witchcraft on your behalf? God did, the God of the Bible. If Jesus wasn't real, Luciferians wouldn't be building their paradise on earth. Atheists would. If Jesus wasn't real, Luciferians wouldn't be passionately hating him to the point of keeping their existence hidden under penalties of torture and death. Lo and behold, in the 21st century, yes, if Jesus was a myth, Luciferians wouldn't be working overtime to inadvertently fulfill every prophecy that Jesus gave us. Can anybody read me? What part of Jesus foretold a worldwide cashless system, a worldwide government, and a worldwide religion do you not get? If Jesus wasn't real, why do former Satanists freely admit that only the true Christians are immune to witchcraft? They have no power over the disciples of Jesus. How is that possible? And what about this one that's been going around? If the Gospels were written by the Catholic Church in order to control people, then why didn't they include a pope in the scriptures? There's no pope here. Why didn't they include instructions to obey the priests? There's no priests in the New Testament, except for God himself and all his disciples. We're all priests. If the Gospels were an invention of the Catholic Church, why does Jesus say to call no man father except your Father in heaven? Yet every priest holds the title of father. If the Gospels were an invention of the Catholic Church to control people, why were only priests allowed to own a Bible and not the common people? Why did they burn William Tyndale at the stake, a Christian scholar who translated the Bible into English? Are you with me? Please help me understand how you don't believe in Jesus when even your enemies, the high-ranking Freemasons, think that you're stupid for not believing in Satan. There was the first shock, which was the fact that an international secret society exists at all. and that all people in power, prominence, celebrities, they're members of it. That was the first shock. The second shock was the oaths they take and the rituals they perform. Decapitated heads, brains exposed to the sun, drinking wine from human beings' skulls, all done by the people you respect the most. Pretty shocking if you have any brains left in your skull and heart left in your ribcage. The third shock was the reason they took the oaths and performed the rituals, and that reason is that the secret society they all belong to is in fact Satanism. The fourth shock was the details of witchcraft and the details of the new satanic age, the Saturnian kingdom, where billions are planned for death to pave the way for a spiritual and technological utopia. But do you know what the biggest shock of all is? The shock that surpasses all of them combined. It's Jesus. Jesus is the shock. He's the shockwave, the reality and truth of Him. Because that changes everything. He changes everything. The greatest news you could never think up, that God left His abode to come here, a form of hell, manifest on earth, to be ridiculed and executed to save our sorry asses by taking a bullet for us. Don't worry, His second coming won't be so sacrificial. Better start fearing like you fear a cop and like you fear a judge. Oh, I know you tremble in front of them, but you don't fear God? Oh, how we love the darkness and sin. You, possibly you, loved gossip, you loved sex and porn, you loved sodomy, you couldn't stop lying, you couldn't stop cussing, you loved your idols, singers, actors, sports people, sports teams, putting people who fart, smell and eventually die on a pedestal. You just couldn't cut yourself off from the ways of the world. Purity? Who wants to be pure? I have to be pure? I have to live holy? Stop sinning? That's so boring. What kind of God is this? To hell with that God. Well, do you like filth in your home? Do you? Do you like filth on your carpet, on your clothes, on your face? Do you invite filthy guests over and give them a share in all your belongings and all your power? Do you give them the keys to your house and car? No, you don't. But the Creator, who has the greatest house of all, He should. We can barely earn $1,000 a week, and we don't give that away to anyone. But now God should share His wealth with you, the unclean, the unrepentant. Is it too much to ask your filthy guests to clean up before they enter? To watch their mouths, to control their willy? Is that too much to ask? Oh, but if God was real, what about all the children that die? What about them? What are you doing about them? Are you still stuck on which phone you're going to upgrade to or what's for dinner? Why don't you leave your abode, your luxuries and your loved ones and risk it all to go save some children yourself? Oh, but what about all those who've never heard of Jesus? Let me ask you, what's your excuse? I know they have one, but what's yours? You've heard of Him. Every morning you wake up and look at the calendar is a testament to His name, because it's 2021 in Australia, it's 2021 in Brazil, it's 2021 in China, it's 2021 in every single country in the world. So let me ask you, 2021 years since what? Like I said, just waking up in the morning and knowing what day it is a testament to Him. But if God was real, why wouldn't He just show Himself? Show Himself to who? To you? You can't even get on your knees and repent. You can't even hate sin and scream out to Him. So why would He? How do I get the girl if I don't ask her out? And if I do, maybe she rejects me the first time and the second. How bad do I want her? How hard will I try? Most haven't even knocked on His door. Well, I did. I just kept knocking and knocking, and then I started banging and banging. I refused to leave His porch. I lay there like a hungry puppy. But even when He answered the door, I did the runner, because He was too big for me, and I loved sin a little too much. Yet He still left the light on for me. But if God was real, what about all the other gods? What other gods? Did Buddha perform a miracle for you? Did he affect a plethora of witnesses? Were his followers stoned to death, sawn in half, eaten alive? Did historians of his era leave any trace of him? Did he prophesy all the kingdoms that would appear on earth, and in what order? Did he foretell of worldwide floods, of enemies that will despise his followers, use his name as a cussword, and eventually attempt to set up a world kingdom? Did his appearance change the calendar from one end of the world to the other, and predict that his appearance would in fact change the calendar? What did the Prophet Muhammad do for you? Apart from stealing Jesus from billions of people and corrupting the Gospels, did he dedicate his entire life to sinlessness? Did he remain celibate so that his blood could make a difference in the hidden realm by the science of sacrifice, which is practiced in secret every day, in order to shield your very soul? No, he didn't. Instead, he had 11 wives. One of them was 9 years old, and he lived like a king, while the real king lived like a slave, and died like one too, and washed the feet of his disciples, while demons trembled at his name and presence, and still do. And let's not even bother with the other pagan gods, Osiris, Odin, Vishnu, all inventions of fertility cults that worship the sun, sex, genitals, death, destruction, agricultural religions. Did anyone else apart from Jesus Christ ever say the words, "I am the truth"? Have those words even ever come out of someone's mouth? I've heard of "I know the truth," "I have the truth," but "I am the truth"? That doesn't even make sense. Unless truth itself was once upon a time born on earth as a man. Well, of course he's the truth. Where are all the heart-wrenching, knee-buckling testimonies about the indescribable power of this Holy Spirit, which comes in to sweep you off your feet and drown you in its tides, changing you forever? Where are all those testimonies? I'll tell you where they are. In the Christian column. That's where. Oh yeah, you'll get them here and there in every genre, but Christian testimonies simply outclips the rest. Where are all the life-changing, electrifying Hindu testimonies? The Muslim testimonies? A Muslim, Buddhist, or a Jew on the street corner, or from the proverbial rooftops, shouting the truth for all to hear, no matter the cost, because they love us that much, because he loves us that much? Where are they? And Freemason testimonies? Have you even heard of one of those? Satanic testimonies? You ever heard of one of those? A Freemason on his knees, sobbing from joy because of the overwhelming knowledge that Lucifer loves him? No Mason or Satanist has ever done or heard of such a thing. But the biggest cult in size is the cult of society. Where do you think the word culture comes from? And the TV, the doctors, the idols, the PhDs, the scientists, they are the priests of the cult of society. You atheists think you don't live in a religious world of your own, filled with daily rituals and daily worship? Even your beliefs require faith in what your priests teach you. Evolution, no proof. Age of the earth, no proof. Distance of the sun, all faith-based on what you are told by strangers. You can see the rings of Saturn with your telescopes, but you can't see the buggy on the moon that was left behind in 1969, yet you still believe, because you have faith. Don't you worry, no matter who you are, you live in a religious world, because life is religion. And if you're still in the "I'm not religious" category, think again. You all worship something or someone, and your religion is futile. But for you, for the one, whoever you are, remember the advantage that evil has over good. A little good doesn't destroy evil, but a little bit of evil destroys all good. See this glass of water? One single drop of poison is enough to render the whole lot useless or deadly. That means that 99% of the goodness and purity of that water amounts to nothing, all because of one single drop. The whole glass is evil. And so it is with the human soul. You better believe it. Does anyone go out with a stain on their face or on their shirt? You think the soul can't be stained? Think about it. Just one lie makes you a liar. So you can't go where life is stained with death? Now, in case someone thinks I'm playing the high and mighty role, I tell you this. I used to be a liar. I used to be a pervert. I used to be a drunkard. I used to smoke all kinds of poison. I used to have angry outbursts, use a filthy mouth, indulge in filthy humour. I used to. Past tense. But no more. He finally summoned me. He called my name for the last time. He took my dog, then my music. He took my band, broke it all, and broke me, flooded me clean. He sent for me. He woke me up from a deep sleep on a high-speed midnight highway with a whisper, an actual whisper in my ear, and only meters between me and a concrete wall with my name on it, because he knew I had it in me. I had it in me to lay it all down, risk everything, so I can take a stand for him, for the Gospels, and for you. Well, this is me taking a stand. Brothers and sisters, I did all this for just one person, and I'll be hated and mocked and worse maybe, so that that one, whoever you may be, will wage war on sin and believe. Don't let even one drop in. No matter what the distractions this evil world may place in your path, in order to bury itself and its poison in your heart, where it will take root and overpower the 99% goodness in you. Just like only a few find success in this world, even fewer will find the kingdom. It's far more difficult than winning X Factor, or making $1 billion, or reaching a 33rd degree of a secret society. It's as difficult as loving your greatest enemy. And that's just about impossible. But if you can figure out how to do that, then you've found the road to life. And I hope to see you soon. God love. Jesus wins.
Be a light in dark places. Be a smile for the faces to behold. Walk complacent. Be the life rejuvenating. Be the spark in the darkness from your heart. Speak out kindness. Let the Spirit teach and guide us as we walk through this darkness. Yeah, it is a raging war out here for our soul. It's hard to carry on, but don't you forget that God is real and He's in control. He's waiting for you. I beg you to wake up, my friend. The time is near. I'm glad you arrived. And witness the great awakening. The time is here. Be the hope for the broken, teaching love, guiding balance for the ones who've awoken. Grab your sword, face your challenge. Let the Spirit work right through you. You can feel it, it will move you. Let the Spirit work right through you. You can feel it, it will move you, move you. It is a raging war out here for our souls. It's hard to carry on, but don't you forget that God is real and He's in control. He's waiting for you. I beg you to wake up, my friend. The time is near. I'm glad you arrived.
All right. I wanted to end it with something good, but then, guys, everybody in chat, okay, I was like, oh crap, what's happening? Hold on. Okay, everybody talking in chat. So many good conversations going on. So many good things I want to talk about. And so I'm going to be here for a minute because I have to and I'm going to go all the way back to the Freemason thing too as well. But, okay, so Miss Real Freedom Fighter, you say 2012 is a year everything changed. I also have to agree. That's when I had my awakening, when I found out about the global cabal and all of these things. But I was researching online and it just boom, I clicked and I had a change and it was like dramatic. It was like, I didn't eat for days. I was crying. I felt like the whole world, like the whole sin of the world was on my shoulders. I don't even know how to describe it. It was crazy, right? So something happened that in 2012. I mean, that's what quite literally led me to Q, Patriot Movement, MAGA, because it's all connected. It's just people that are fighting the cabal. like how Altian Child put it so well. I hope you guys really enjoyed his presentation. I did splice it, so it was just condensed I could get, but it was still an hour and a half. I hope you guys enjoyed it. But okay, back to 2012, right? So, okay. And I say that's when I had my awakening. And then Mrs. Real Freedom Fighter says, right, timelines converged. And then Keith O'Higgins says 2012 was the Mayans calendar, exclamation. Yes, it was. That was the end of the Mayans calendar. Now, Pam HD63 says 2012, the timeline converged or split, question mark. Okay. I believe it was CERN. Now, the reason I say this is because, okay, this is going to go wild. Or this is me doing it live. I'm doing it live. But it's important because it's just like, whoa, my mind was blowing behind screen. Okay. Hold on. I need to share my screen. Calm down, Abby. It's okay. All right. So CERN. What happened at CERN in 2012? I don't know why. I'll read it. So it says CERN ran the Large Hadron Collider throughout 2012, increasing its energy to 4 TeV per beam, 8 TeV total, and collecting massive amounts of data, accumulating in the historic announcement on July 4th, 2012, of the discovery of a new particle consistent with the Higgs boson, the Higgs boson particle. I think they call it the God particle, before shutting down at the end of the year for a long maintenance break. Okay, I don't know if you guys remember when this was happening. I was watching it intently, and CERN is one of the weirdest places. You're following scientists around the world go there. There is really no laws that they follow there because it's like in between two countries and all this stuff. I think it's Switzerland, and I guess you guys are probably know it's close to Davos. I know that, right? Okay. So they're doing this weird stuff with energy, particles, and all this stuff. Now we just, with Altian Child going through all this stuff about, satanic rituals and things like that. They do believe in the conjuring of energy, collecting energy. This is a known thing through sacrifice, through nasty, sexual torture, whatever's, right? But it's all about energy and controlling energy and power, right? So you got all these scientists, top scientists from around the world, from different countries, all coming to this one place to just collide particles together. Why? Why is this so big? Why is this so huge? So this is the thing it says. It was in February of 2012, and it's so weird because I remember my change was very close to this. I'm not saying it's connected. I'm just saying, okay, this is weird. February 2012, CERN announced the LHC, Large Hadron Collider, would run at a higher energy. This is the 4 TeV they were talking about. A 4 TeV per beam for the year to maximize data collection before a planned long shutdown. Now, what if something happened? Let's just theorize. What if when they did that, It's not, this story here is not what happened. What if they found something? What if they shifted something? What if they opened a portal or shifted a timeline over just a fraction? And that causes interesting things that we see today. Like you guys probably obviously know in chat. Freedom Fighter, you probably know, like with the Mandela effect, or the Mandela effect. It's, some people see things one way and remember it. Some people see it completely the other and remember it this way, and it doesn't exist anymore. This is a real thing. So something happened. Something shifted. Okay, this is where it gets a little deeper. When I was researching CERN back in the day, and this was before the Angels and Demons movie came out. This is just so everybody knows, Angels and Demons is a second part to the Da Vinci Code with Tom Hanks, right? This is kind of like a second part to it, like a number 2, but kind of loosely, right? I think you're following the same character. Before this movie existed, CERN on their website had a page called Angels and Demons. I know it exists, and I'm just half tempted to like play something while I search for it on my computer, because I know I took pictures of it. But basically, take my word for it for now. And it was a weird piece of literature. It was only 2 pages, and it was talking about science, but how it has certain similarities to all these esoteric things and energy. This is CERN that had this little article. It was 2 pages, I remember. Okay, can't find that. Kind of weird. But guess what does come up? Angels and Demons, which was the movie. And if you guys haven't seen it, in the movie, and it's funny, I watched this on my way to a GART because I'd never seen it. I was like, oh, I watched Da Vinci Code, I'll put this on. Holy crap. This is what is it called when they put it all in your face so you can see it, but they don't actually, it's a way that the elites can have a nice history record keeping, in a way, done in art, in movie form. That's why they do these things, I believe. So in the movie, so right here it says Angels and Demons. I had to get let's see, this is an archived website. It's archived. They don't even have it up anymore. But CERN had this up on their website, and it said, in the Ron Howard's Angels and Demons film, Tom Hanks played a Harvard academic, Robert Langdon, who discovers evidence of the resurgence of an ancient secret brotherhood called, you guessed it, the Illuminati. That's why I was watching the movie. I was like, what? Like straight up. The most powerful underground organization in history. When Langdon finds evidence that the Illuminati have stolen antimatter from a secret laboratory at CERN, you're following me, right? And we're going to play a video of it in just a minute. In fact, I'll look for the screenshot when I'm doing that. God is good. Okay. So when Langdon finds evidence that the Illuminati have stolen antimatter from a secret laboratory at CERN, which they plan to use as a devastating weapon to destroy the Vatican, he and CERN scientist Vittoria Vetra began a race against time to recover the antimatter and prevent the catastrophe. Now, in the movie, that's the main thing, right? Because the bomb's going to go off and all this stuff, blah, blah, blah. But you and me can tell what truth is really woven in this. And so with that, let's see. Okay, that was another archive. They totally removed it. So this is apart from the movie Chaos in the Hadron Collider, Angels and Demons. And Angels and Demons came out 2009. So I find that very interesting as well. So check this out.
Attention, control group going online for LHC beam event. We are powering up. Attention category 1 personnel. Interlock areas are now restricted.
Tu nous as sortis d'où raison, Philippe?
Parce que tu fais peur à tout le monde.
L'accélérateur n'a jamais été prévu pour générer de l'antimatière.
Les 3 flasques sont à l'abri, sous toutes les normes de sécurité possibles.
Je ne te demande pas d'abandonner ton projet, je te demande d'attendre.
On ne peut pas attendre. Le bloc d'antimatière est généré au démarrage. Connecte-nous.
Tu téléphones au directeur ou je le fais?
Atlas Underground is now in restricted mode.
Vittoria, Vittoria.
Protons are being ready.
Non ci mandare tutti all'altro mondo. Please.
Powering on LHC magnets. Ion source stage in 4, 3, 2. Start the collision sequence.
Vittoria, cosa voleva fare?
Ti dirò, sono spaventati a morte. E voleva che noi aspettassimo. Cosa ne pensi?
Penso che se non lo raccogliamo adesso, non lo faremo mai più.
Beam on beam stability is good. Take your places, people.
Atlas and CMS check.
Ora inserisco il tempo di innesco. Collisioni imminenti.
We have got
10 to the 13 protons per batch.
Let's hope the heavy ion guys didn't mess up.
Beams at relativistic velocities. Luminosity monitors operation.
Beamline has no restrictions.
Enable beam capture.
Accelerating the beam.
Stage 1, line up.
Magnets to full field.
Load functions to separation back.
Last P is still too high.
Yeah, we got luminosity of 10 to 34.
Inject particle beams. Filling the LHC.
Le collisioni sono attive, siamo di nuovo in linea. La cattura dovrebbe iniziare di momento in momento.
Particles in transition.
Collisions are fixed and running.
LHC injecting protons, beam 1. Lock the feedback systems. Particles at 99% the speed of light. Colliding stable beams.
Inact injection kicker.
We have a signal on the luminosity monitors. We have events. Photons are moving.
Abbiamo l'antimateria. È ad un livello mai visto prima d'ora.
That's a great appeal.
Oh, fatto così. Silvano, ce l'abbiamo fatta.
So what if something like that happened, guys? Look, there's like a priest guy there. I think they talk in English later. I think they start out like this, or maybe I just have a French one. Sorry. Okay, but that's pretty much it. Or wait, I think like there's like sabotage and people try to like steal. Right, that does happen. Okay, but the whole point, guys, the whole point is that they're making freaking movies about this before these things happen. Then they happen. Then we have weird separate memories. And I saw you guys mention Project Looking Glass in there. Jeez, man. And actually, my husband, Brad, he made an amazing Project Looking Glass video. I know he always goes, oh, it's dated, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, dude, it's got important information in here that just makes you go, oh. And yes, you are right. Who was it that said no matter what they put in, it just always comes out with the same end? And that's what bothers the elite. Somebody said that in here. Geez, I can't find it. But yeah, anyways, pretty crazy, pretty wild. And so you never know, man. The thing I know is this is what Abby knows. And some of this I don't have cold, hard facts. It's just based on looking at patterns and looking at probability and how many times before it cannot be a coincidence, right? So based on that assumptions, on these things, and evidence that we can find, like the human child trafficking and all these things, it's safe to say that the world has been ran by a Luciferian group that worships Satan and Lucifer, which is crazy to say, but it's true. And then it makes you think about, as a Christian, what was your real mission? Well, it's supposed to, tell people, spread the gospel. So tell them about the way that Jesus made. But then you're supposed to resist the devil. You're supposed to also have nothing to do with the deeds of evil, but expose them. These are both Bible verses. So I think that we do need to do that a little more, right? As Christians, I know it's hard, but this whole, we're just going to accept you, acceptance, how he showed they had that fashion show in the church. What was that doing in that, disgusting, right? Yeah, so they've very much infiltrated every avenue. But now we have eyes that can see, not eyes wide shut, but eyes wide open, so we can definitely see what's going on. And real quick, so I want to jump in chat because I saw something. And let me go down to the bottom here. Okay, so I see there's been a lot of loss. And Pam HG63 says, my ex-husband, my daughter's dad, just died the day after Christmas. I am so sorry for your loss. That is so sad. And Miss Real Freedom Fighter, yes, your husband. How long has it been since your husband passed away, if you don't mind saying? And these are really hard things, like when you lose loved ones. I lost my brother. I can barely talk about it still to this day. So, but I would love to put up prayers for you guys and, know that you're not alone. Your loved ones, I believe, are fully 100% alive, intact, and well, just in the spiritual realm. I pray that they've made it to heaven, and we don't know the choices people make or their beliefs. That's between the maker and the creation. But I do know in my heart that there's something way beyond this physical world. Like, I'm talking to you through the computer and technology and all this stuff, sure, but there is way more. And and even just talking about CERN and man, I always think about what is the real truth, right? When I get to heaven, I'm just gonna ask God, give me the real history of Earth. Give me the real. We'll probably be at the end of it going oh, I have no idea. I've been told the wrong story for thousands of years. That doesn't mean all of them are wrong. Obviously, there's probably ones that have passed on correctly. But we know that history is written by the victor, and sometimes the victor wasn't such a good person or a kingdom or a ruler. So we always got to take that into account. But with that being said, okay, let me go back up here. Oh, well, hold on. I'll see if you guys did. Yeah, nothing against that was okay. Project Looking Glass. Scales are ripped from our eyes. It's hard. Thank you. We're all going through things. Yes. And Mrs. Real Freedom Fighter says, my husband died July 31st, 2016. It was a Sunday. It was raining, 8:32. Oh, my goodness. I was a bloody mess. Thank God my sister was with me. Yes. I'm so sorry for both your guys' loss. And the thing is, man, it's just weird. I have comfort as a Christian knowing that they are alive and well. But death is weird because they'll be there and everything's fine. And then the next day they're not. And that's a forever thing now in this life. It's just so hard. It's so not fair. It's traumatizing. It's traumatizing. It really is. And the one thing, though, I could give for encouragement is that time does make it better. It doesn't really heal the wound. It just makes it better to handle, I guess. but that hurt is always there. But just know that, guys, everybody in chat that's going through all these things, I will be sending up a prayer for you because I know you need it. And that's what we're supposed to be doing. And that's how we combat the evil that's out there that wants to still kill and destroy. But Jesus wants to preserve, protect, uplift, have you reborn brand new. And that's just such an amazing thing. And I'm so happy for that. And so guys, I love you. And I'm so sorry about all of that. But keep your chin up because you're not alone. That's the other thing. You're not alone. We are all facing things, yes. But it's okay to find comfort in each other. So I'm going to go to, Pam HG, you said my pap left my dad. This is crazy. My pap left my dad to die at the bottom of the stairs after they were in a fight. This is where my cognitive dissonance comes in. And I'm like, whoa, what the heck? And they said my pop was powerful. I suspect my dad was uncontrollable. I remember as a child, I'm in my 60s, that my pop did something disgusting things. My parents ran away, got married against pop's warnings. Okay. That sounds like, and I think he was a Freemason is what he was saying. I said, was he a Freemason? And they say, yes, dad was. My pop was too. Pop was well connected to politicians in PA. He made weekly trips to Harrisburg. Yeah, so it sounds like, and that's the thing. I've dived down the Mason thing, right? And I realized, okay, it's a great recruit ground. This is the way I view it. It's a recruitment ground. Can you keep a secret? For good and for the fraternity. And look, a lot of Masons that start out, they're all Christians too, by the way. It's the perfect way to hide and gather. So basically they'll be recruited and they do really good things and they provide things for the community. And like even down the way, there was ones that got a playground up for the kids and like, well, that's so wonderful. That's a nice lodge. And that's the way it is supposed to work and everything. But what happens is there's people in the lodge that will keep on doing all these things. And they're like, why am I not progressing? They start to wonder, and you could find this a lot if you look up ex-Masons. They go, well, why am I not raising in my degree? I'm doing everything for, the lodge. I don't get it. And also they really need money all the time from you. So if you're initiate, you're always funding things. You're always doing things. So it's just a way that they can have a group of select people that are already known to keep secrets, right? So they already passed that test. And now they can take from that pool and picked ones. And there's, of course, things about when you do become initiate and certain things that you do to show that you understand the true meaning behind it, which would be, they believe that Lucifer is God. I hate even saying that. But yes, so just a lot of stuff. But yeah, anyways, so the thing with the Masons, and I believe there's really good Masons, but we're not supposed to keep secrets. It's just one of those things. It's God does not want us to keep secrets or lie. Like there's certain things, let's say for like safety, security, you might not say certain things. That's fine. That's kind of falls in like privacy things and those whatever. But like to purposely keep a secret, that just the idea that you have to have a secret means that the public wouldn't agree, right? Well, then why would you have it a secret? That, you know what I mean? So it's just kind of one of those things. But again, I do believe we should have the right to privacy. It's a fine line, but it definitely needs to be talked about. But guys, thank you so much. And so as far as the Mason thing, I don't know. It turns out that I do think that the Luciferian cult uses lodges as recruitment centers. And, the higher up you go in rank, you learn more. And then, you get rewarded and the whole system. So, and I was very proud of Altian Childs making that video. because I wanted to play the first part. If you stuck with me through this whole broadcast, first part, he wins the X Factor. He's famous now, this and that. So he actually has credibility in that regard. He would know the stars. He had gotten an album signed. You know, he was there. And then they did all this thing. You know, when you see these things, like, oh, well, he had a episode and he's a slandering drunk or whatever. Now I look back and I go, oh, was that just the cabal, like just throwing crap on them to ruin their name? So that's what they do. That's what they did to Trump, to just find anything they can to bring you down. So kind of interesting. And I liked the video. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please give me the thumbs up if you liked it. Oh my goodness. Thank you. You're such a sweetheart. Miss Real Freedom Fighter. And I don't know if I can pull that up, but for $50, thank you so very much. You just say, love you, dear. Well, I love you too. You're such a sweetheart. And thank you. That means a lot. And, you know, yeah, I mean, sometimes I do these broadcasts and I'm like, I don't want to leave people feeling like, right. But then I want to do it so people know, right? So you can have a little expanded thinking, realize it's a spiritual battle. And like he said, they believe Jesus is real. And I also like the part where he said that the true believers, the Wiccans and the magicians, have no control over them with their witchcraft. So I thought that was quite interesting, but that they don't tell anybody that, you know, because they don't want anyone to know that they don't have power. So I take that as a good thing. So remember, guys, you know, if you believe in Jesus, he is in your heart. He's with you. You have the light within you. And that comes in the form of the Holy Spirit, and it will lead you and guide you. Like I saw somebody say, oh, that something about coming into this stream, and they're like, oh, maybe that was supposed to happen. It probably was, because I do believe that there is no coincidences, and that when we're guided in a certain way and we just really feel that pull, you know, we should really don't resist it. Go check it out. Might be something important. But thank you so much. And thank you again so much, Miss Real Freedom Fighter. I very much appreciate that. All right, guys. Well, I will lead you out. Is the outro again, but it's a good one. All right. Thank you guys, and God bless. And I will be sending prayers for you. Just about the loss of your loved ones. I am so sorry. And yes, but not to keep it down, but I'm aware of that pain, and I just want you to know you're not alone. And I love you, and I hope you guys have a good night. And remember, God is with us, and God wins in the end. All right.
You, John Fitzgerald Kennedy, do solemnly swear
I, John Fitzgerald Kennedy, do solemnly swear
that you will faithfully execute the office of President of the United States.
that I will faithfully execute the office of President of the United States.
We have before us the opportunity to forge for ourselves and for future generations a new world order.
And now is a time when things are shifting. There's going to be a new world order out there.
Hail Fellowship's eternal flame.
Our way of life is under attack. Those who make themselves our enemy are advancing around the globe. The survival of our friends is in danger. And yet no war has been declared. No borders have been crossed by marching troops. No missiles have been fired.
You're such an angel. Thank you. I don't know if you guys can hear me.
Now, how exactly will the future masters of the planet look like? This will be decided by the people who own the data. those who control the data control the future not just of humanity, but the future of life itself. Because today, data is the most important asset in the world.
Of a police dog during an arrest in Brisbane last year.
Oh yeah.
It requires a
right
change
there.
in outlook, a change in tactics, a change in missions by the government, by
That
the
was
people,
stern stuff right
by
there.
every businessman or labor leader, and by every newspaper. For we are opposed around the world by a monolithic and ruthless conspiracy that relies primarily on covert means for expanding its sphere of influence, on infiltration instead of invasion, on subversion instead of elections, on intimidation instead of free choice, on guerrillas by night instead of armies by day. It is a system which has conscripted vast human and material resources into the building of a tightly knit, highly efficient machine that combines military, diplomatic, intelligence, economic, scientific, and political operations. Its preparations are concealed, not published. Its mistakes are buried, not headlined. Its dissenters are silenced, not praised. No expenditure is questioned, no rumor is printed, no secret is revealed.
Simple, but actually quite complex statement. Live free or die. Live free or die. We stand on the shoulders of American heroes who crossed the oceans, settled the continent, tamed the wilderness, laid down the railroads, raised up the skyscrapers, won 2 world wars, defeated fascism and communism, and made America the single greatest nation in the history of the world.
Okay. Since there was so much, nothing can stop what's coming in chat. I will play you guys this puppy.
Yeah, nothing can stop what is coming.